Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Unleash Your Brilliance Live. I am Andrea Harrison. I am the creator and founder of Unleash Your Brilliance. I'm so happy that you are here with me today. Listen, we have an amazing show in store for you today. As you come on, please say hello. Say hello so that I can say hello to you, so that I know that you are here. Listen, today is going to be like no other, okay? I'm just telling you right now, get yourself ready, get your notepad, get your pen, get into a comfortable seat because you're not going to want to move. You are going to want to listen to every single thing my guest says today, okay? Take it all in. All right. This is going to be the branding gospel according to Cheryl Pullins. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you somebody who is very, very special to me. She's a friend. She's a sister. She is a coach. She is what I call my branding mama. Okay. There is nobody that does personal branding the way that she does it. Okay. There's nobody that does it the way she does it. And I love, especially because she is a woman of faith, and everything she does it comes from her faith, the way she teaches, the way she carries herself. All right. So you are going to absolutely love her. If you haven't yet shared this broadcast, listen, trust me, you're going to find value in it. You're going to want your friends, your girlfriends, you're going to want them to listen and to hear what she has to say today. Okay. Hello to everyone in the audience. What's going on, Miss Patrice? Hey, Jennifer. Hello, Ruthie. That's my mama, y'all. That's my real mama. Not my Brandon mama. That's my real mama. That's my birth mama. Hello, Miss Yolanda. Thank you so much for being here. All right, y'all. Without any further ado, I am going to, because she's been hanging out in the green room. She just flew in from Paris today to be here for Unleash Your Brilliance Live. You see how we do? We bring you the best of the best. All right, y'all. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage my Brandon mama, Miss Cheryl Pullins.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh
my God. Bonjour, everyone.
Oh, wait, hold on. I totally forgot. Wait, hold on.
Oh, yes. Très chic, madame. Yes, ma'am.
Listen, let me stop fronting because it's hot here in Florida, okay?
I'm so sure.
How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you? And how is everyone that's watching? I see the comments. Hello, everyone.
Miss Jennifer says, hey, Cheryl, to Powerhouse
Hey,
Women.
Jennifer. Happy belated birthday.
Well, let me tell you, this is not the first time that we've done this, but I don't know what it is about this time. I am super excited. And probably because I have really, really grown to understand not just the importance of branding, but the power of branding, personal branding specifically.
Yes.
And so I think that's why today seems to be extra special to me. But before we go any further, where did this Brandon mama, Brandon baby stuff come from? I mean,
you. All you.
Oh my gosh. So I've got to show you my shirt. I am wearing
yes, I love it.
Because those of you who don't know, this is the iconic branding expert. All right, Miss Cheryl Pullins, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this branding arena. How did you start here?
Yeah. So I spent 22 years in the corporate world, similar story to you in terms of your paralegal background. I went into the corporate world actually as a teenager. I started in a program that our high school had in conjunction with one of the big pharmaceutical companies. And it was actually back then, it was SmithKline Beecham. And now it's known as Glaxo, or a GSK, actually, is what it's known as now. So I started there. I had an amazing mentor. So she was highly influential in this corporate career that I had that spanned all those years. And I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was not an interest of mine. I thought it was ridiculous, to be honest with you. But that was when having your own business was brick and mortar. This was before the internet leveled the playing field, or Al Gore's internet, we should say, leveled the playing field. So I was married, divorced. 10 years later, I remarried, and about 2 years after we got married, my husband comes home and says, "What do you think about moving to Tampa, Florida?" I said, when do we leave? When do we leave? What we got to do? It was him living out one of his dreams of working at a particular intelligence command. I didn't care what it was. It was Florida. So we moved to Florida, but it was during the recession. Florida had gotten hit really hard, and I couldn't find a job that I was really willing to get up for every day and go to work, right? Because the pay scale was very different. We were coming out of a pay scale that was about 30% higher. And I was like, oh, I just don't see it. So God reminded me of this piece of paper that I had sketched out, like an org chart. Mm-hmm. And it was actually Victorious Living International is what it was originally called. And I had all these things, I had publishing company, I had all these different things. And he said, remember, I was like, I don't know where that paper is. So I found it. I never found the paper, but he just reminded me to draw it out again. And I said, okay, I see. I'm like, but what am I supposed to do with this? Mm-hmm. So what started as me getting certified as a life coach became me being a mentor to women who were starting their businesses, which turned into me being a brand strategist, which turned me into now focusing on personal brand strategy. So it's been a 10-year journey, but actually it's been longer than that. But specifically for the entrepreneurial piece, it's been a 10-year journey.
So who do you serve? Do you serve all women?
Of course not. Of course not. That's one of the rules. It's one of the rules. What you have is not for everybody. So I serve multi-passionate women who are building multi-faceted businesses.
Now, I love how that is so specific. You know exactly who your target market is. You know exactly who your target audience is. And what you've taught me is that when you know who you're serving and you know who you are, you know what you're doing.
Sure.
And it translates to the marketplace. Isn't that right?
It does. It does, because it lends to an enormous amount of clarity to your messaging. Because now you know who you're talking to. And not only that, you know what their challenges are. You know what obstacles they're running up against. For me, what I discovered was the biggest obstacle for the multi-passionate woman is that she's being told that she can only do one thing. And we know, and we have proven examples of you can do more than one thing, but there's a way to go about doing it. And part of that is branding yourself.
Branding yourself. So what exactly does that mean? Branding yourself.
So it's I've been spending a lot of time over the last few weeks understanding the power of vision. So when we talk about branding yourself, we're talking about you understanding who you are and what your gift is, if you will, to the marketplace, or how you're rolling up all your gifts into this solution to the marketplace. And branding yourself, meaning you're really clear about who you are, you're clear about what your vision is, you're clear about what your values are, you're clear about what you, even your beliefs about who you are, and who you are in the marketplace. You're clear about those things. So, as you know, Andrea, branding is, even personal branding, it's made up of a combination of things. It's your personal brand vision, it's your values, it's your brand voice, which is even how you say things. I've been told my tone is very sassy, which it is, and that's a big part of my personality. And that's the other piece of branding, is personal branding in particular, is that you are self-aware. You're not trying to mimic anybody else. You're not trying to copy anyone else. You're being true and authentic to how God created you to be in the world, because he designed you, right, for a certain thing, a specific purpose, and he needs your style, he needs your vibe, he needs your sassiness or whatever it is in order to bring that, because there are going to be people that are going to hear you, right? 5 other people could say the same thing, but they're not going to hear it. But they're going to hear you because there's some resonance there. And that's why you really got to be self-aware. So, this personal branding piece, it's made up of multiple components, but then you have to know the components, and then you have to figure out how each part plays with regard to you.
So what do you say to those women, those multi-passionate, multifaceted women that you serve? What do you say to those women when they say, I don't know who I am. I don't know my brand. I don't know what my voice is. I don't know what my niche is. What my niche. What do you say to those women?
Well, first of all, you're probably not going to know all those things. I didn't know none of that when I started. I'm just keeping it totally, totally transparent. I didn't know any of that when I got started. Branding wasn't even on my radar. But now that you know that that's a thing, and when women come to me with those things, honestly, I point them to the vision. What's the vision? Because inside the vision lies the intent, lies the purpose. Inside the vision kind of lays out why you need to know all the things you need to know. So that's my first place. When I work with my clients one-on-one, the very first conversation that we have after they've enrolled is a vision conversation. Because if you're not clear about the vision, the rest of it is not going to really it'll work, but it's not going to work to the level that it should work, because you don't have clarity around your vision. What is your personal brand all about? Why should people be in your community? Why should people buy from you? Why should people align themselves with you? Why? And you really, really want to get clear on what your personal brand vision is. And then we can start to delve into the other things like mindset. One of the biggest things when developing a personal brand. Your messaging. You got to get clear on your messaging. So, Andrea, when you asked me, who do I serve? And I was able to tell you in a very succinct, short sentence who I serve. Not long, drawn out, trying to talk for a minute and a half because people have tuned you out after the first 7 to 8 seconds. That's a whole nother story. But really, really being clear with your messaging. Also, understanding your market. I always talk about understanding your market on a cellular level. I mean, like deep down in the nitty, understanding who they are, what their dreams are, what their goals and aspirations are, and how does what you have, your gift, your talent, your solution fit into their lives, right? So then there's the market, and then there's monetization. How do you monetize who you are? And if I had to put in a nutshell, what I really help women do is I help them profit from their personal brand. Very simple. So I hope I answered your question because you know I could talk about this all day long.
Yeah, we've done it for hours. We've done it for hours.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, okay. So, thank you so much, Christy. Christy's been taking notes. So, know your vision. You've got to change your mindset.
Yes. Yes.
Your messaging. You're saying your messaging has to be something that is simple to listen to,
Yes.
something easy to remember. 3 to 5 minutes, not some long, drawn out thing. Because, like you said, you'll lose the person that you're trying to reach.
Well, you really will.
And so, and knowing your gifts, knowing your talent, knowing your skill set, knowing the gifts that God gave you, who you are, knowing who you are, that is important before you even try to market yourself.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think that branding and marketing is the same. And I always say branding is who you are, but marketing is how you build awareness of that brand. So if you're building awareness of something, you got to know what it is first.
Yes. Yes.
So in speaking about the solution, how does your solution fit into their lives? A lot of women always ask me, how do I know what their pain point is? How do I know what their problem is? Okay, Andrew, you've told me that I'm the solution to their problem. I'm the answer to their prayer. But how do I know what they're praying for? How do I know what I'm solving? How do I know what their pain is, what their problem is?
Yeah. So, as profound as this question is, the answer is rather simple. You ask them. You ask them. You create opportunities and ways to ask. It could be as simple as putting up a post with the question. You can, a lot of you are in these Facebook communities, you can ask a simple question. People love to talk about themselves. People love to talk about, what ails them. They love to talk about what they want. Just ask. You can, if you have an email list, and all of you should, and that's a whole nother topic, but all of you should have, pardon me, an email list that maybe you can reach out and just ask the question, but here's the thing. And I know we talk a lot about pain points. The pain point is really just part of it. Understanding their pain point is only part of the picture, because the truth is the pain point is only a pain point because they're trying to get to some place that they truly desire. They're trying to get something that they truly want. And the only reason it's a pain point is because they're not seeing success in the area that they want to, that they desire. So the pain point is like a block for them. So the question becomes, whatever your solution is for the pain point, then what happens? What happens after that? So understanding, then this is why I start with vision, because if I understand the vision, right? And I know where they want to go. Then I say, well, what's keeping you from getting there? That's the pain point. So
Ah,
it's simple, but if we don't think about it with some depth, we're still just kind of scratching the surface. So if you're understanding the vision and you're like, you know what, they have dreams, they have goals, they have aspirations, they want to. One of my clients, I was working with her yesterday, and she has an aspiration, a big aspiration for a brick and mortar type business eventually. She's like, I got a 5-year plan, I'm getting me ready to retire. Well, now that I understand that vision, right, and now I go and say, okay, so now what's preventing you from getting there? What are your challenges right now? Because if we don't deal with those challenges right now, the vision will never come to life.
wow.
So yes, you want to ask them what their challenges are, but don't ask them that without asking them what their dreams and their goals and their aspirations are, because now you got a clearer picture,
Yes.
of what it is that they want. And then now you look and go, how do I help them get there? And it doesn't have to be a 5-year vision. It could be a vision it could be a goal that they have in the next 30 days. But just understanding what that is where you are bringing value.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, we're all girlfriends here, right? We're girlfriends here, right? Right, Cheryl? We're girlfriends?
Absolutely.
All right. So I have no issues with you, right? I have no problems with you. Right. Okay. Just wanted to make that clear, because when I start to take my earrings off, I don't want you to think I'm getting ready to fight. Okay. I don't want you to think I'm getting ready to fight.
They're actually tapping on the mic.
Exactly.
That's right. I was like, wait, would you take your earrings off for? That's a fighting reflex.
Oh gosh, I just had to make that clear. But when you talk about brand and knowing somebody's brand, and your branding, it's so clear. It's so clear. I mean, if you just think about how I set up today, right? The shirt that I wore, the fact that, I'm drinking my cran grape. I'm not out of a mason jar, okay? But out of a wine glass, okay? Actually, I think this is a water goblet. What is it? Tell me what it is.
It looks like a water goblet. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love the cuts in there. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's Waterford, darling. Nothing but the
best. Yes.
Okay. Now you see that, right? Waterford.
Yes.
That's a brand.
Yes. And you saw my reaction too.
Exactly. Because you know what it is.
Exactly.
Because we've learned to what? Know.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
And trust.
Yep.
Tell us more about know, like, and trust as it relates to our personal brands.
Yeah, so what we know is...
Hold on. I got to put my pinky out. Sorry. Is it out far enough? I
don't know how far you can stretch it. Oh, ladies, welcome to our little private party. How about that? Oh gosh, I'm so excited to see you all here in the comments, commenting, tagging. Thank you so much. Please share it out. This is some good, juicy stuff. And it's between two people that really love each other. So you're getting a dose of something really awesome. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
The know, like, and trust. So I have my theory on that actually is know, like, trust, love. Because know, like, and trust is pretty standard, but when you get into a place where people actually love you and your brand and what it is that you're doing, that's a whole nother level. That's when they start to refer you out. That's when they start to introduce you to their networks, just like Andrea is doing with me today. So, know, like, trust, love. We know that people buy with who they know, like, and trust. And how do you develop that know, like, and trust factor, right? Before you even get to the love, how do you create that know, like, and trust factor? I'm going to tell you how it's done. It's done through visibility. It's done through being visible and offering value. It's done through, Andrea, we laugh about Andrea being my brand baby, but the reason why um, Andrea has been so successful with what she's doing is because she went whole hog visible.
Whole what, Cheryl?
Whole hog. I mean, I tried to find something nicer to, not a little bit more fancy to say, but it just wasn't working.
Whole hog visible.
Whole hog visible. I mean, she went all out. You went all out. You didn't, when you got in that visibility seat, you did like a no let up at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it catapulted you. It catapulted you. You hosted your conferences, sold out. I mean, those are visibility strategies. You're going live. That's how people get to know, like, they trust you. You're offering value. People's lives are being transformed and changed. You're speaking into people's lives. People are, coming on Facebook and they seeing all of this rhetoric and all this craziness happening. And then you come along telling them, that they can do anything, that they can, you know what I mean, that they're brilliant, that they need to unleash and the world is waiting for them. So that's how you build that know, like, and trust factor. And then when people start to implement and people start to get results, then that's where the love shows up. They're like, oh my God, I did what she said. And as a result of doing what she said, look what happened. You've got to meet her. You've got to, listen to what she's doing or whatever. So the know, like, and trust factor really is directly connected to the level of visibility you have, the level of influence you can create, and the level of value that you can bring to the marketplace.
I like that you said that. And for women out there that have a product to sell or even a service, okay? For
Sure.
women out there that have something that they are selling and they're going live and they're selling their product, do you think it's important that they also go live outside of selling that product, to continue their visibility, to continue embracing their visibility? And what should they be doing when they're not selling their product?
So there are few questions there. Should they be going visible, or going live or visible, whatever, when they're not selling their product? Absolutely, because people don't like for people to just to show up and sell. You wouldn't like it, if somebody came knocking on your door and the only thing they want to do is sell you a vacuum cleaner. Remember they used to sell vacuum cleaners door to door?
Yes, Kirby, Kirby.
Yes, we had one. My first husband and I, we had one because he didn't know how to tell people no. And if, so yeah, we had one. But that is like, people don't really like that. And especially nowadays, if you're just showing up to sell,
Mhm.
you're not going to have the impact that you would have when you show up and not sell. Because what you
Mm.
want to, you want to create connection, you want to bring value, you want people to be excited about what it is that you're offering. Then when you come on to sell your product, it's a no-brainer, and you're really not selling anyway. You're really not selling at that point anyway, because people are ready to buy, because they've seen you, they've experienced you, you've been speaking to them and talking to them and inspiring them and encouraging them or whatever. And then you're like, okay, I'm selling my widget today, I'm making this offer of my services. And people are like, where do I sign up?
And that's because they really got to know you through the fact that you're going live, you're talking,
Absolutely.
the things that you're sharing about who you are, the things that you love, the things you're passionate about. So they're getting to know you.
They
They
got to
tr-
know you. Yeah.
they trust you because you're consistent with it.
Yes.
You show
Yes.
up when you say you're going to show up. You
Yes.
show up and you show up every day, or you don't like go away for 2 weeks and then come back. Oh, I've been away for a while. People lose trust.
They do. And you wind up having to start all over again.
Right. Right.
It's a vicious cycle, I can tell you that.
Yes.
It's a vicious
Yes.
cycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Because
when
consistency can make or break.
Mhm. A
Yeah.
business, yeah, or a brand.
Hmm.
Um, you're one of those people that I have on my see first list, right? So on Facebook, it gives you can put people on your see first list so that you don't miss anything that they say.
Well, I'm
So
honored.
any,
I'm
but
honored.
you should have known that already. But anything that you say, anything that you put out, I want to know what you're going to say. Why? Because I know you. I know who you are, right? I know how you do things. I know how you carry yourself,
Mhm.
right? I know you. I know you first because of course we're friends, but you had to give me reasons to know you, right?
Yeah,
And obviously I more than like you. I love you,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
and i
yeah.
and i trust you because you've never said anything to me that has been sideways, right?
Right, right,
um
right.
but the stuff that you put out there, especially with branding, something that I have just grown to really love and embrace,
Hmm.
and kind of have become, it's become kind of my niche in a sense, my niche in a sense, in my, in what I do.
Yes.
And so I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want to miss a thing. If Cheryl opens her mouth, I want to hear what she's saying. If she posts something, I want to see it. And see, that doesn't happen if you are just trying to sell, if you're just trying to,
Mhm.
you're always just selling, 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 selling. That really comes from sharing valuable content. I don't know too many other people, like, no, I'm not talking about celebrities or celebrity status rather. I don't know
Mhm.
too many other people that, other than myself, of course, but I don't know too many other people that really put out valuable content, like stuff that you have spent time to research and
Mhm.
and get a great understanding about, so that you can, just help people to understand it. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know too many people like you that really put out valuable content. And I want people to really get this, that it's more than just putting your product out, because everybody's putting their product out. Everybody wants somebody to buy something. But when you stand out from the crowd and you serve your audience and you're visible, and you never have to tell, you've never said, like my page. You've never told me to like your page. I don't even
Right.
think I ever hear you say that.
Mhm.
One of the things I learned from you is you say, you don't tell people just share. You always say something to the effects of, if you found value in what I'm saying,
Mhm.
share it. Because
Right.
that's when people actually share. They want other people to hear it, because you're saying something that's something that's good, that can help other people.
Yeah, because my philosophy is give people a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just say like it, share it, buy it, do it. Give
Mm-hmm.
people a reason. Now people can make a better decision, because if you tell them people just do this, just people will tune you out.
Right.
you know because sometimes people don't even like to be told what to do. So
Right.
so it's giving people a reason. So it's, if you find value, please share.
Mm-hmm.
Share the, I always say, share the love, share the link. if you
I
found
like that.
if you found value, share the love by sharing the link. If there's some breakthrough moment or something that you had, that's a reason for you to share, because now you want other people to experience what you've experienced. So yeah, it's more to it than just saying, hey, um, yeah, you might want to take my name out of there, though, off of
I
there.
thought, it said connect with Cheryl, and I meant to take the
Oh, okay.
whole thing
I'm
out,
like,
and I
Cheryl,
left the
her,
Cheryl.
I can't, what?
I left the Cheryl.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. But yeah, but people, give people a reason to want to follow through on your requests.
Mhm. No, that makes complete sense. So tell me a little bit about her iconic empire. What does that mean, and how did that come to be? I mean,
Well,
nothing with you is just simple and
it isn't.
plain.
It really
You are so extra, but in all the best ways.
and I have learned to own my extra.
Yes,
I
yes.
really have. I try to be, I'm just not. So, as I said, this has been a 10-year journey for me. I started as a life coach and realized I didn't want to spend my days doing life coaching. Not that there's anything wrong with life coaching. I did not want to do it as a full-time business. So then I moved on, and I finally did the branding piece. And now the personal branding. But as you know, I am multi passionate. I am my market. And it has become a time now for me to really build out what my multifaceted empire looks like. And so when I was trying to figure out, how I could bring everything under one umbrella, all the facets of who I am as a mentor, as a brand strategist, with like one company. I have Iconic Persona. That's one of my companies that I have. I'm launching an online learning portal, Icon Academy. That's coming in January. I'm really excited about that. And then me embracing this idea of marketplace ministry. So there are all these different facets to who I am that have never lived in one place. And that's what her iconic empire is. That is my umbrella. I've been, building umbrellas for everyone else, and I'm finally building one for myself. And her iconic empire came out of a conversation that I had with Liz Everett. And she told me, I'll never forget, and I'll probably say this from now until, she told me that I didn't get to abdicate the throne. I didn't get to abdicate my role in the marketplace and who I am, that I didn't get to just turn my back on it. And that thing like jacked me up.
I was gonna say that shook you.
It did. And then from there, I started watching The Crown, and there was no connection to it happening. I just did. And then I started studying, about the royals, and I was like, but wait a minute. And then I did this study on queens and realized that all queens aren't created equal. And then it just steamrolled from there. And I thought, well, yeah, I'm building an empire, and I'm helping multi-passionate women build multifaceted businesses, which are their empires. So it just all made sense. So that's how and this happened in a very short period of time, probably in about less than 6 weeks.
Wow. And I know that when you build things, it's very well thought out, well researched,
Mm-hmm.
and bathed in prayer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it really, and for me, it really is, okay, God, what am I supposed to do with this? That's
Right.
just how what am I supposed to, what am I
Right.
supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with this? And he knows how to deal with me, just like he knows how to deal with all his daughters, right? And how God deals with me is one that he definitely speaks to me through other people. There are certain things that people have been saying to me for a very long time that I was either dismissive of or I didn't understand. Right? Or I felt like it didn't apply to me. And those words have come back in this last month as confirming words, right? So, I listen. I go, okay, God. So wait, what? And he brings. Remember, I talked about earlier. He brings things back to my remembrance, and that's how I know. That's how I know.
Wow. So let me ask you this, especially for all of the multi-passionate ladies that are listening.
Yes, y'all my people. Oh, yes.
How do you find your tribe? Like, how do you find your tribe? How do
How
you
do I find my
find?
tribe? How do I find my tribe? I'm gonna tell you what's worked for me. Being visible. Being visible, one.
Because you attract them, I
Also,
guess.
you do being visible, but when I'm visible, I'm just myself.
Right.
I'm myself. I've spent a long time. I've spent 57 years becoming the woman that I am, and but learning how to really embrace her is a whole nother story. And I've learned how to embrace her. I've learned how to go ahead and be extra. It's okay. I've learned how to be this kind of dichotomy between extra and elegant, right?
Mhm.
You know, sassy and sophisticated.
You do it well. You do it well.
And when I talk about certain things, and it just resonates, and that's really, really, really kind of how you grow that tribe, and of course or that community, and of course you create opportunity or gathering place. I think that's very important, to create a gathering place. And also I've been vocal about my faith and my belief, and but I haven't been as vocal as I could be. And so in this season that I'm in, I'm going to be more intentional. It's not even
Mm.
about being vocal. It's about being more intentional about people knowing that I'm a Jesus girl, and I
Yes.
love God, and I always have, and I always will, and that my business is based out of the fact that He's called me to the nations, and I know it, and the marketplace is where I do that ministry.
Yes.
So I don't know how I got off on that, but anyway, you know me.
No, I like what you said, and Yolanda, thank you for typing that in. Yolanda, um, uh, it's what you said was creating a gathering place, and that was
Yeah,
one of the things that I learned from you. I remember we were driving to Atlanta.
yeah,
We
yeah.
were going there for something, and we were like,
Oh, I miss those
I
days.
know, right, right, when outside was open.
Yeah.
And we were going to Atlanta, and I remember we just did it. We created a graphic, right? We were in the
Oh, right,
car.
right.
We
Yeah,
created a graphic.
yeah.
We put the graphic out there. We said, meet us at this hotel lobby on
Yes,
this day at this
yes.
time.
We
We
sure did.
and actually our driver, my husband,
Right.
Gordon. Our driver pulled over at a rest stop, and it was a nice rest stop with trees and everything. We both were just like feeling it, right? And we
Yes,
were like, let's go live. And we went live,
yes, we did.
and we shared our genius,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
we told people to meet us at this place, and,
Yes,
and people showed up.
yes, they did. Yes, they did. They
People
sure
showed
did.
up. we
Yep.
we created that. And see, another thing that you've taught me, Cheryl, is that you can't just wait around for somebody to invite you on their stage, for somebody to invite you on their platform. You can't just wait around for opportunities to happen or to come. You got to prepare yourself, right? You got to prepare yourself for opportunities, but sometimes you got to create your own opportunities. Sometimes you got to create your own stage. You got to create your own platform.
Listen, I am a huge believer in building your own platform. Stop. Listen, if you are under the sound of my voice, stop waiting for people to invite you to their platforms. Create your own. Listen, in this season we're in right now, everybody's virtual, right? Conferences are being held virtual. Summits are being held virtual. You don't have to pay nothing for a conference room. You don't have to worry about trying to, fill seats. You don't have to do any of that. You can hook up your phone. go live. You could call it whatever you want to call it. You can invite some people to come and speak. You could create anything you want right online. You could get a Zoom, invite people to a Zoom session with you. There's so much opportunity here. Don't miss it waiting for other people to invite you to speak at their events. Create your own. Because, mind you, that's also a positioning strategy.
Yes.
It's also a visibility strategy, right? And it's also a way to create community. So don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on creating your own platform.
And it's also how I met you.
Yes.
Tell them how I met you.
Yes. So here's the thing. I had just moved to Florida about, let me see, about 3 or 4 months prior. So I moved to Florida in November 2014. It was my second time moving to Florida. I moved to Florida November 2014. February 2015, I did this event in Tampa. And I offered one of the organizations here tickets to give away. And Andrea was a recipient of 2 of those, and her friend came to the event. It was wonderful because, I mean, I didn't know them at all. Mostly everyone else there I knew except Andrea. I even had one of my friends from Baltimore there. And so that was like the first time I had met Andrea. And that was almost 6 years ago. It was almost 6 years ago. And then she told me about the company she had at the time, her tantalizing tablescapes. And let me tell y'all, let me just say this. This woman is so creatively gifted. She just is. She just is. And she gifted me. I will never forget this for the rest of my life. I know. She gifted me with a tablescape setting that was out of this world. I invited some friends over to celebrate my birthday at my house, and she did the tablescapes. Listen, I thought she was going to come put some plates and chargers on the table and a tablecloth and call it a day. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It was beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And she was spot on as it related to me and what I love. So the point is that we met at a live event. I did a beginning of the year. It was a beginning of the year event that I did. It was a small, intimate group. And she showed up because there's something about being in the room. There is something about being in the room. And she was in the room that day. And look what it has created. It has created such a ripple effect, right? Because we met, we stayed connected, through all the different seasons, and now look, I couldn't be more proud of one woman that I've connected with in the last 6 years. I couldn't be more proud of what I've seen you accomplish and do. Couldn't be more proud.
Wow.
Because I know what it cost you.
Yes.
Everybody might not know, but I know what it cost you. It cost you a lot to get here. It cost you a lot. And honey, you deserve every bit of it and more. And more.
You ain't right. I'm just saying. You ain't right.
Yeah, because I've been yesterday I did a live and I started talking about your oil, because the oil is what makes you unique in the marketplace. It's your oil, and your oil is produced out of, the things that you've experienced and you've gone through in life, and your oil is precious, and nobody knows the cost. I love that song, Alabaster Box. You don't know the cost of my oil. And everybody doesn't know the cost of the oil. Everybody doesn't know what it's cost you to sit in that seat, to sit here and do this live, to do what it is that you do. Nobody knows what it's cost you, right? and they could say that even for themselves. They're paying a price as well. Their oil is costing them. If you're going through challenges, um, if you're going through challenges, if you're going through trials, if you feel like, it's never going to come to an end, or you just don't know what's going to happen, and honey, that's just your oil being mixed and made, because at some point you're going to pour that oil out on others, and it's going to change and transform lives, just like it's happening with Andrea.
Wow. First, let me just say, Christy, that is Cheryl's business page. Cheryl Pullins, personal branding expert, is her business page. Okay, so this is episode 6, and no one has made me cry.
I'm not sure if I should say oops or
But so many times people see your glory,
yeah,
and they want it, and they don't know your story.
yeah,
And if they did know your story, they would probably back up off your glory.
absolutely, for
They would
sure,
probably say, you know what? Nah, I'm good.
absolutely,
I'm good.
yeah,
When you said that, it kind of brought back to my remembrance some of the things that I've shared with you,
mm-hmm.
in the places, the low places that I've been.
Yes,
And it's not a bad thing. I'm glad you did it,
mm-hmm.
because it's kind of, it's those kind of things that you want to forget sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, within the last 3 years, the journey that I've been on, I've had my own ups and downs. I've had uh, my own things that I've been through that have really, at some time, caused me want to quit, want to
Sure.
just quit, just throw in the towel.
Mm-hmm.
But you just reminded me of some things that I went through, things, low places that I was in even before the journey that I'm on right now.
Yes.
And when, all I can hear in my head is, when I look back over my life,
Honey, come on now.
ooh, and this is why I tell people,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot give up.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
you cannot give up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I never would have thought I would be sitting here today doing what I'm doing today,
Mm-hmm.
and even now building what I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have even thought that it would be possible. First of all, like, I spent my whole life, 25 years of my life,
Mm-hmm.
as a paralegal, and to see me on a whole different journey now,
Mm-hmm.
it's just incredible. And I thank you for being a part of it. I remember one time in particular, I was in my car in a parking lot, and I was on the phone with you, just crying about where I was at that
Mm-hmm.
particular point,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's really important to have a solid tribe, somebody, that you can trust, somebody that will be there for you, somebody that, is not going to look at the phone and, turn it over, but
Mm-hmm.
somebody that doesn't matter the time of the day or night, and that they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to pray you through,
Mm-hmm.
and I thank you for being all those things and more to
Amen.
me.
Amen.
But
It's been my pleasure to just watch what God has done with you and your family. Y'all my favorite family. And it's just been amazing and I'm so grateful that God gave me, the kind of the charge to be there, to be in that moment with you, um, to see this to see this day. God keeps his promises.
He does. And
God,
it ain't over yet.
of course not. He keeps his promises, and when I'm looking at hericonicempire.com on the screen, that's a promise kept.
Yes.
As you were talking, God said, that's a promise kept.
Wow.
Because in the book of Genesis, chapter 12, you probably heard me talk about this, Andrea, when God tells Abraham to leave where he is, to leave his familiar, to leave his family, to go where he tells him to go. He didn't even tell him where he was going. He said, go where I tell you to go. He's like, listen, and if you do this and you're obedient to this, I'll make your name great. I'll make you the father of many nations, and God kept his promise to Abraham. And I know for sure, if he keeps that promise to Abraham, right, of making his name great, he will do the same for me, the same for you, the same for anyone that's watching this, that has a dream, that has a vision, that has a promise that needs to be kept.
Yes.
God's going to keep that promise, regardless of what it looks like right now. The world is crazy. Everything's in chaos, but there is peace in the promise.
Yes.
There's peace in the promise.
Peace in the
You just hold
promise.
on to that. God will bring every dream and vision to life, but you cannot quit. You cannot give up. You cannot give in. You have to stay the course. Surround yourself with people that can hold your arms up and help you through, right? All right. Okay.
Listen, if y'all haven't seen the video I posted this morning on this page, it's the last, probably the last post that I posted on this page. It is a video of Cheryl walking out of the room, the conference, the room, the auditorium where she spoke at my conference, Unleash Your Brilliance, in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
She was Gordon. My husband is a DJ, and he was playing the song "Intentional." And she walked out, and I don't know, it's something about just the way that she was walking out, just the every step that she took. It was like, so many like things were just going through my mind as I saw her walking, and I just felt like I needed to capture this moment. Every step, it was like, every step, your footsteps are ordered by the Lord. Just the confidence as you took each step, the grace with which you took those steps, the intention of how you took those steps. And I think about that being June of 2019, not 6 months before everything, 2020 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And how I believe God was preparing you. And I believe that God was preparing all of us, whether we paid attention, whether we realized it or not. I believe he was preparing all of us. I mean, if you kind of look back, and just look back at some of the things that he has allowed you to do, right? And so when people want to put a big X through 2020, when people want to say that, 2020 was horrible, yes, there are absolutely horrible aspects about 2020.
Yeah.
People are dying.
Yeah.
I don't take that lightly at all. But there are also blessings in it as well. And I think that we need to keep our heart set on, our eyes set on the blessings that have come out of 2020. And the way y'all have to watch that video, the way that she walked out of that auditorium, that's how I need each and every one of you to walk out of 2020.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Wait a minute, I got to remind myself to walk out of 2020 like that.
Listen, Yolanda said everything God promised her is coming to pass.
Yes.
Sabrina said there is peace in the promise. Felicia said God keeps his promises. Yolanda Crosswell said God is a promise keeper. Gordon said peace is in the promise. Peace is in the promise, right? But everything that God has promised you, it is going to come to pass.
Yes. And you got to believe it.
Yes.
Because your part in this is belief. it is believing that God's going to do what he says he's going to do, but he's going to do it in his time.
Yes.
He's going to do it on his timeline. You know,
Mm-hmm.
God is not your private magician. He is not your private poof genie. He's going to
Right.
do it in his time, right? Because he sees the bigger picture. He understands what's happening. And all of us have such a time as this moment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and your such a time as this moment might not be here yet.
That's right.
Right? Because you know, Esther, you talk about Esther, and Esther becoming queen was for that day, for that time, you know, for such a time as this.
Mm.
So God knows you're such a time as this moment. So it might not be when you think it is, but the promise he's going to keep, and he's going to keep it in his time.
And I believe, Cheryl, that it's closer than we think. I believe our such a time as this
Yeah.
moment is
Yeah.
closer than we think, you
It's
know,
usually
and
at the point when you feel like you want to give up.
yes, yes, yes. Um, oh my gosh. I just opened my notes, and the first thing that popped up that wasn't there before is Esther 4:14. If you if you persist in staying silent at a time like this, help and deliverance will arrive from the Jews from someplace else. But you and your family will be wiped out. Who knows? Maybe you were made queen for such a time as this. And I believe that we no longer have the right to remain silent. I believe we no longer have the right to remain silent. That, you know, I believe what God is saying is that if we continue to stay silent, God is going to use somebody else to fulfill his purpose.
Oh, for sure, because it's going to be fulfilled.
That's right. And if you don't rise up and take your rightful place and do what God has called you to do, it says you and your family will be wiped out. Now, I'm not saying that you and your family are going to be wiped out. I'm not saying that literally.
Mm-hmm.
However, just think about if Esther didn't do what she was called to do,
Mm-hmm.
her and her family would have been wiped out. So, you know,
Yes.
what will happen? What will happen if you don't do, if you are not obedient?
Mm-hmm.
You are not going to reap the blessings of obedience.
I'm looking up a scripture. It's Ezra 10:4. And it's one of my favorite scriptures that I like to use. It's Ezra 10:4. I'm reading from the NIV, and it says, "Rise up.
Mm,
This matter is in your hands. We will support you. So take courage and do it."
and do it.
Take courage and do it. You know, so Nike really didn't create the "Just Do It" slogan.
Right. It was in the Bible.
Ezra did. Rise up. This
Rise
matter
up.
is in your hands. We will support you. So take courage and do it.
Do it. And, you know, thinking about everything that we talked about today, and with you saying rise up, and we talked about being in position, taking courage, rising up, being in position. One of the things that I heard someone say recently is that God uses people who are already in position
Mm-hmm.
because he knows how to use you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
it's so important for you to be in position,
Yes.
for you to rise up, for you
Yes.
to take courage.
Yes.
And,
And
and
that being in position is being in position, you know, in your heart,
yes.
in your mind. Because you know our mind be playing tricks on us. Isn't there a
Mhm.
song like that talking about mind? You know, our mind can have us thinking stuff that is like so outlandish and out there that's not even going to happen in real life, right? Because
Yep.
we have an imagination that we need to cast down a lot of times. You know, but being in position in your heart, being in position in your mind, that way you can hear and receive what God is saying. And when it's time for you to move and he wants you to
Gotta
move,
move.
you got to move.
Listen, Cheryl. God said, when I move, you move.
Just like that.
Yes. Okay, so as we wrap up, I have two last questions for you.
Sure.
One is when you are feeling like when you need inspiration, when you need encouragement, where do you get your encouragement from? And I'm asking you from a place because I want other women to learn they're not alone,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that where do you go to get your motivation?
So my, I have a couple sources.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of my sources is just being around the people that I enjoy being around. Sometimes, it can be uplifting, especially if I don't want to talk about. Sometimes I don't want to talk about business.
Right,
I just want to laugh, right?
right.
So just being a laugh and enjoying being around and enjoying, people that I love, that I hold dear. So that's one source. Another source is I love watching some good teaching.
Mm,
And a shot in the arm for me is to watch Dr. Cindy Trim video or Dr. Miles Monroe video.
mm.
Or last night, I spent the night in my office for a little bit watching Dr. Medina Pullins, because I just needed some good old preaching.
Yes.
You know? So, I would say that source really is, it's hearing the word, really hearing the word, and having the word remind me of who I am.
Yes. That's important.
That's that when I usually when I need motivation is when I need to be reminded of who I am
Mm,
and who I am as a woman, as a business owner, as a woman in the kingdom, as a woman that's been called to the nations, being reminded of who I am as a friend, as a wife, as a mother.
mm.
Those are the things I need to be reminded of. you know
Do you have a particular verse or a favorite verse that you kind of go to during those
um,
times?
so Ezra 10:4 is one of them. I need to be
Mm-hmm.
reminded to rise up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Jeremiah 29:11, that's been my lifeline for a very long time. I always say that scripture saved my life. I experienced some really low points in my life. I didn't even share any of those. I did not wake up like this. Um, I've experienced some low points in my life, and one of
But
the
you
lowest.
look like you woke up with it because you don't look like what you've been through.
I sure don't. I sure don't. Thank God for that, honey, because I was drugged. And
Mm,
but it was Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you, not to harm you, but to prosper and to give you a good end. That was the scripture I held onto in my deepest, darkest, lowest days.
mm,
When I couldn't see my way through, I was going through a nasty public bitter divorce and custody battle. A lot of people may not know, my first husband was a pastor. Actually, he still is a pastor, pastoring the same church for the last 30 something years. And we went through a very public divorce. It was bitter. It was bad. I came through it bitter, mad, angry. I didn't want nothing to do with church folk. I didn't want nothing to do with none of that. And it really affected me. And but it was Jeremiah 29:11 when God decided that it was time to remind me of who I was.
mhm,
See, I
mhm.
don't just say stuff just to say it.
Right, right. Come on now.
It has some roots. So when God reminded me of who I was, he sent me to Jeremiah 29:11. He's like, let me remind you, that I know the plans I have for you. And I don't care what all of this crazy stuff that's going on right now. Here's the promise that you can find peace in.
Yes.
And so Jeremiah 29:11 really is one of my favorites. It just reminds me, of what God said and what he's going to do.
And you know what? He said he has the plans, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if he has the plans, that means he's the planner.
exactly.
So if he's the planner, we really need to spend some time with the planner.
We do, because he has the master blueprint.
Yes.
He has
Yes.
the master blueprint for your life.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what our 12 days of vision is all about. It's about that master blueprint.
So they'll
Yeah.
be able to find out about that on her iconic empire, correct?
Actually, yeah, if they leave their name and email address, they'll get an email and it'll tell them all about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll tell them all about it.
And so my last question for you is, and I ask each and every one of my guests the same question. Okay. I want to know, I believe very much in collaboration. I believe in building relationships. I believe in sharing your success, which is one of the reasons why I created this show in this format. Um, I want you to finish this sentence for me. Okay. Cheryl Pullins says, this is how you unleash your brilliance.
Cheryl Pullins says, this is how you unleash your brilliance.
By
You unleash it by being yourself.
A couple of people have said that in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
but it all comes back to being authentic.
Mm-hmm. You unleash it by being yourself.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So if people want to follow you, they should definitely go and follow you on Facebook, Cheryl Pullins, personal branding expert. How do they find you on Instagram? How do they find you on
They
Instagram?
can find me on Instagram and any other platform using Cheryl A. Pullins.
Cheryl A.
Pullins.
Pullins.
No G. A lot of people put a G in there. There's no G. Cheryl A. Pullins. Pull in, not pull ins.
So Cheryl A. Pullins.
Yes.
All right. So Facebook, Instagram, and anywhere they want to find you.
Anywhere. It's all the same across all of them. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And tell them really quickly about what you have coming up with the 12 days of vision.
Oh, yes, 12 days of vision. I'm so excited about. This time of year, everybody starts talking about doing vision boards, vision boards, right? And I've been teaching vision boarding for a number of years, probably for the last 5 or 6 years. And but my style of teaching it started with writing your goals first, not just doing the vision board. But then, when I started listening to the Lord, and asking, like, okay, we're coming into the new year, the vision board, he's like, no, 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 no. It's like, no, you're not teaching about vision boards, you're teaching about vision.
There's a big difference.
Big difference. And I said, oh, okay. So, and basically, kind of what I've gotten is, that it's more than a vision board, that the vision you're creating is your blueprint for living.
Yes.
And that the vision board is just a supporting tool. A supporting tool. So for 12 days, and it's based on the 12 days of Christmas. And it starts on December 25th. So because when I did the research, I thought the 12 days of Christmas was before Christmas. But it's not. The 12 days of Christmas actually starts Christmas Day, and it's the time from when Jesus was born until the Magi, the three kings, arrived at the manger, or arrived in Bethlehem.
Wow.
To see Jesus, to bring their gifts. And it's that time span. So I was like, oh, see, I was getting ready to put out something that really wouldn't have been, it would have been fine.
Right.
But this gives people something to start to focus on now that Christmas would be over, or just about coming to a close, in leading up into the new year, going into the new year. So 12 days of vision. We're going to be doing, you'll get emails, you'll have video, I'll be doing live streams. And on January the 2nd, we'll be doing a special vision boarding session on Zoom. But I'm going to show you how to create a digital vision board using Canva.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
No
I like
glue,
that a lot.
no scissors, no magazines, none of that. Just you and Canva.
I love that. I love that. So if you want information about that, go ahead to hericonicvision.com. Hericonicvision.com is the 12 days of vision. So if you want to be a part of that, that's where you go and find the information. All right. Oh my goodness. Cheryl.
Good. We had a great time.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being my people.
Oh, thank you for letting me be your people. And thank you for being mine. Thank you for being mine.
You gave the women something today that they will never, ever, ever forget. They will never be the same. And I am ever so grateful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Um,
My
yes,
pleasure to
yes,
serve in this way.
yes,
Welcome, ladies. Welcome for you. Welcome to you, those who are live. You're welcome to those who are watching the replay.
yes,
Say hello, reach out, wave. I'll come through the comments and and say hello and all those good things.
yes. And if you have any questions, go ahead, drop them in the comments,
Yep.
for either one of us. So thank you, Cheryl. Love you, girl. Love you,
You're
girl.
welcome. Love you.
All right. Oh my word, y'all. Was that not just amazing? It was truly, truly amazing. I had just a great time. I love when I can just sit down with my girl and just be me, right? Just be my authentic self. And I love hanging out with her. I love learning from her. If you didn't get anything today, you need to go to the doctor and get checked out. Okay. I'm just saying, because she was dropping some crazy nuggets today. All right. Um, yes, Yolanda, such valuable content, such valuable content. And this is how we get down over here at Unleash Your Brilliance Live every Thursday. Every Thursday at 11 a.m. A matter of fact, don't miss next Thursday. We're about to announce who is going to be with us next Thursday. Don't miss next Thursday, okay? Next Thursday, we have a special guest, and her name is Adrienne Young, and she is going to talk about thrifting. Okay, she has a book out about thrifting, and also talking about how she has become an influencer. All right. So that is like, a term you hear people talk about all the time, right? I felt like it was such a great thing to kind of segue into after really learning about branding. Adrienne is her brand. She is her brand. So please make sure that you join us next Thursday at 11 a.m. Okay. I know it's Christmas Eve, but I'm telling you, it's going to be special. Okay. So make sure you tune in. If you haven't already, please make sure to join our make sure that you go ahead and download a copy of my book, a free excerpt of my book at unleashyourbrilliancetoday.com. That also puts you on our list so that when anything is going on, we can let you know. In January 21st, my birthday, January 21st, 2021, I'm going to have a special guest that day. And guess what? I will be announcing our Unleash Your Brilliance conference date. It is going to be a virtual conference. I am excited about it. I can't wait to share it with you. So listen, just join us every Thursday at 11 a.m. If you can't watch the whole thing, the replay lives on YouTube. Okay. So it will be here on this page, but much easier for you to find on YouTube. Okay. So yes, I love Adrienne Young as well. You're welcome, J Mo. Thank you so much for being here. Felicia, thank you for being here. Yes, she is fire, right, Patrice? She is fire. So you will absolutely enjoy Adrienne. And if you've ever wondered what it's like to be an influencer, how she got started, you're really going to love her story. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us today. And I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. And remember that you were born on purpose for a purpose. Take care.